Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 5 of Edre's Table. I'm your host, Dre, and here we talk about all sorts of things. In particular, if you've been following along on the first 4 episodes, we've been talking about, pretty much what this title is. Rejection is redirection, and what that means, and all that fun stuff. So let's just recap those first 4 episodes in just about a minute or less. So back in April, I separated from my previous employer, and it was quite unexpected. So when it happened, it threw me for a loop and a little bit of a whirlwind, if you will. So over the course of the last 3.5 months, because it's let me see, March, April, May, June, it's been 4 months now since the separation. 4 months, 4 months. Wow, that's a long time. And so much has happened where you start to think and realize, let's call it what it is. I was grateful I was able to sustain myself for about a good 3.5 months. But now we're at the point where money has run out, right? So we started pivoting and thinking of ideas and what to do and how to do it beforehand. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And that's, the one luxury that sometimes you don't have when you lose your role and things like that happen. And, I was grateful that I was able to put money away. But now we're at a point where, it's mission critical, if you will. So we're doing all sorts of things. I'm baking, I'm cooking. I've opened up meal prep services for some folks. So that's actually coming up in about another week or so. Actually, I think we're meeting this week to go over, allergies and things of that nature. I've been making breads, focaccia. I'm about to start my sourdough journey. I know it's a huge thing. I've never been a fan of the whole sourdough process. I love eating it, but making it is a whole different beast. So more to come on that one. And that's the redirection, right? So, career pivots. And I send the resumes out. We do all those things. Unfortunately, there have been so many people who have lost their jobs. I think unemployment's going up. I don't even remember the percentage, but it's going to be at one of the all-time highs um, since it's a very long time. And every time you turn around, there's a company that's laying off 1,800 people, 3,000 people. I mean, it's crazy. I forgot the name of the company that laid off almost 30,000 people via email. And that's the state of where we are today, right? So we're doing everything we can. We're staying positive. I, and that's tough. I won't lie to you. It's very challenging to remain positive when things aren't going as quickly as we would like them to be, right? I've even reached out to some of my retail folks. I've no problem. Listen, I don't mind working. Working, I've never been afraid of work. But when things don't happen and they take their time, this is where the pivot has to come in because at the end of the day, I have enough money to hold me till the end of the month, which is only 7 days away. So then I was like, okay, great. Now we have more bills coming up in July. So what do we do and how do we do it? And that's where I have to tell you that I've turned 150% of my efforts and energy into social media. I joined a group on TikTok to help for growth and if you want to become a coach and things of that nature. And listen, there's a lot of scammers out there. I did my due diligence and I searched. I did all the things. I found them. They're great. I've learned more about TikTok algorithms, what to do, what not to do, what mirroring someone is. It's not exactly copying, but learning what they did in their videos to make them successful so that you can then in turn take those tips and tricks and try and get one of your videos to go viral. Um, Today, for example, I have 6 of them to do. I've done one so far. But if you're like me in your home, I still needed structure. So I have a to-do list, right? There's always a to-do list in my household. There's always stuff to get done. So out of the 6 videos, I've done one so far, but I've edited a YouTube video based off of recording a TikTok video. And that came from one of the, I don't remember which follower, I'll have to look it up. But they sent me a message in one of the videos I had done. They're like, oh my goodness, what is it like behind the scenes when you're doing these? Because we only see the TikTok version, right? Which is usually very short and quick. So we recorded it. I think I had it was 29 minutes of footage. I just let the camera I use for YouTube record in the background while I was showing and what I was doing. I was able to cut it down and trim it down to I think 12 minutes to 13 minutes. And I still have to tweak it, record the intro. But how cool, I never thought about it. I find I'm back. I'm monetized again on YouTube, so that was fun. And I was like, let's do, my YouTube Shorts get great traction, amazing traction. But there still are some folks out there that love that long form content and want to see that engagement. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm editing that one today. It should be up by tomorrow. And then there's the TikTok pivot, with the group. And the goal is to go viral. So we'll be doing all sorts of things, trying to find the way. But what I've discovered is that I have very loyal fans to Dre in the Kitchen. So when I start pivoting and putting in motivational stuff, it doesn't have the same effect. So I created a second account, Lifestyling with Dre, which will be more focused towards, I guess, TikTok growth, becoming a growth coach, and things of that nature. So I'm starting that one from zero. I literally have one follower, and it's lifestyling, not lifestyling. It's styling N with Dre, which I'll drop it in the in. I can't even speak, y'all. It's been quite the day. I'll put it in the description. But that's what happened, and I guess in the moments where there's a lot of silence and I'm not hearing from any of these employers, I'm not hearing from anybody, I had to sort of figure out what to do. And it's funny because I was speaking with my aunt and she was like, well, what are your plans? What are you doing? And I told her, she goes, oh, you are doing. I'm like, I'm not sitting around, me thinking that everybody's meant to help me. Nobody's supposed to help me. I'm supposed to get out of this myself, which is why I'm figuring things out. And here comes the other pivot. So I realized I have TikTok. Let me put my hands up so you can see it. TikTok, YouTube is now monetized. So that's two things. And then I said, what else can I do? What else can I use my natural resources and experience and things to do? So I decided, you know what? I used to gift my homemade adobo and my homemade sazon just to, select few people. And there's companies out there. But I figured, why not sell my own? I looked up cottage laws in the state of Florida. So we could have, just to find out what I could sell. And spices is one of them. And one of the things, my sister brought up is that when you have a lot of spices that are homemade, they tend to cake, which means they tend to stick together. Well, I found the trick. I'm going to test it out and see if it works. I also ordered some envelopes to sell, and these are odorless, with a little window so they can see the color of it. I came up, listen, I came up with the logo for it, and it includes a picture of my mom. So my mother is actually a part of the label. I'm working on the back side where it shows the ingredients, and I have to get an address and all that other stuff. Because I'm not going to put my personal home address, so I'll definitely just get a mailbox or something, just so that way it's a physical address, just not mine. I don't need random people showing up at my doorstep. I get enough of that in my building. I'm the president of the HOA, so believe me, there's always somebody calling me. There's always somebody knocking on my door. It's never a dull moment in my life. But back to the spices. So I made a TikTok video sharing my thoughts, my ideas about selling them. And I said, hey, I'd like some taste testers because I think it's important to really get feedback from people who have nothing to do with you. Not friends, not family, total strangers. Just to see if you're on the mark. I know they're good because I literally fine-tuned it down to the gram of how much goes into each formula. It took me a while to do that, but that's done. So potential there. That's the exciting part. What else? I did create a new title for the cookbook. I won't say the name yet because I just bought the domain and I'm working on... This is how I knew that this pivot was going to be something spectacular. Of course, it doesn't feel that way when you have no money and you have bills to pay and things of that nature. But I can see beyond... I can see the end of the tunnel, if you will. Like, I can literally see it. Like, I'm there. This is just the minutia that I have to go through to get there. And depending on other people is one of the hardest. I'm a Capricorn. I don't ask for help. I'll figure it out somehow. And it's very difficult for me to ask for help because I should be able to do this on my own. And if I'm asking for help, you know I'm up shit's creek because I don't like asking for help, which I'm still, I can't. Who am I gonna ask, y'all? It's not about that. So light end of tunnel. See, I've got to pivot and change that focus, and I see it. So I created the title. I'm filling out the trademark application. Oh no no no! I am protecting all of this, literally all of it. So the name, I have the domain. I did hire GoDaddy to go after someone who current well not go after, that's the wrong words. To reach out to the person that has the current domain for it. So that's a work in progress. So that's exciting also. And it's gonna come together. It's gonna come together. It may not seem that way, but it's happening. Sorry, I had to send the message there. So that's exciting. That cover probably took me about a week to come together. I wanted it to incorporate Puerto Rico and all this other stuff. See, I told you, HOA, never a dull moment. It's a day in my life, people. It's a day in my... It's definitely a day in my life. But anyway, going right along. So that's the exciting part. I'm super happy about it. And I'm working on a timeline where, because of my lists and things of that nature, get up early, do what you got to do. I still have the 5 videos to do. But the thing about this book is that AI is going to help me with the images. I'm going to cook it. They enhance it. And I also redid every single thumbnail on my YouTube channel. Absolutely almost every single thumbnail to make it more exciting, more inviting, more enticing. So that's the update for the moment. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces. I'm trying to maintain my level of sanity through it all, but that's okay. And this too shall pass, right? Exactly. So more to come. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you're currently one of those who's unemployed like I am, and unemployment's run out in the state of Florida. You got a certain amount and then you're just done. Let me know and let's connect. I love you guys. Stay tuned and I will talk to you real soon.